the lesson we're going to do today is we're going to take information about quadratic functions, also known as the graph of a parabola, and we are going to take the information such as a vertex and a point, and we're going to use that information to work backwards and write the equation of the parabola that is described. So we're going to start with writing a function in vertex form, and what we need to know first is just a reminder of what is the equation of a parabola in vertex form. So we have y is equal to a, which is the coefficient, x minus h squared plus k. And the vertex is located at hk, and the point that we're going to be describing is xy, and that's any point on the parabola. So if we know a vertex and we know the point, what we need to do is find a. Okay, so here's our two steps. First step, find a. And we're going to do that by substituting in a vertex and a point. Second step, we're going to replace the vertex, which is hk, and the coefficient a into the formula, and that gives us our equation for our function. Okay, so let's begin with this example. So we want to write a quadratic function in vertex form for the parabola with a vertex of -2, 3 going through -4, -1. So our question is, what type of information have we just been given? So vertex, that means -2 is h, 3 is k, and the point we were given, -4, -1, that is xy. So we're going to begin with substituting in to our vertex form of our equation. So y is equal, so -1 equals a, and our point -4, x minus h, so -4 minus -2, and we're going to square that and then add k to it. Okay, so -1 equals a times -2 squared plus 3, and that means I have -4 equals 4a, so -1 equals a. So we're going to finish the problem by substituting back into the equation a and the vertex. So it means y is equal to -1. We don't need to really write the 1, we can just put the negative. And then x minus -2, so plus 2. Square it. And then plus 3. And that is the equation of our quadratic function. So let's try one more, just like that one. Let's begin with writing the equation that we're going to be using. Y is equal to a x minus h squared plus k, and writing the formula helps with repetition, which helps with learning and remembering. So xy is 0, negative 8. hk is negative 3, 1. So let's substitute in what we know. Y is negative 8. X is 0. H is negative 3, but we are subtracting a negative. And then k is 1. So we have negative 8 equals 9a plus 1, and then negative 9 equals 9a. So a is negative 1 again. Now, not all of the a's are going to be negative 1. This was a coincidence for these two examples. And then we substitute back in, and all we substitute back in are the vertex and the coefficient of a. So negative x plus 3 squared plus 1. Now, we have another, I have a typo right here, we have another way that we're going to do this problem, these types of problem. We are going to do these from standard form. Now, from vertex form, we substitute in points and a vertex, which is another point. But with standard form, we're going to substitute in one point at a time and get a system of equations that are in terms of a, b, and c. And where do the a, b, and c come from? Well, they come from standard form. And standard form is y is equal to 8x squared plus bx plus c. So our steps is we're going to substitute xy, and we have three xy's. We have negative 230, 1, 6, and 4, 36. We're going to substitute those 3 points in to give us a system of equations. We're going to solve the system of equations and then the third thing we're going to do is replace A, B, and C. Now, it's very important to be neat and orderly with these problems. I'm going to give us a little bit more space right here. So we're going to replace A, B, and C. We're going to replace X and Y first. So I'm going to start with the point negative 230. We're going to replace it into standard form. And I just write out here so that I can find it easily. So Y is 30. X is negative 2, so I'm squaring the negative 2 first, so that means 4. 4x. And then I'm going to put in negative 2 again for x, so let's change that because that's not an x, it's supposed to be an a, for a. There we go. And we're going to have plus a negative 2b, and then plus c. Okay, let's go to the next point. 1, 6. Okay, so y is 6. Square the 1, multiply it by a, and then 1b, and then plus c. Okay, the last point, 436. Y is 36. Square the 4 for 16a, plus 4b, and then plus c. So we have a system of 3 equations and 3 variables. So I'm going to start with adding these two, and I'm going to change the sign on the second equation. So when you add these two together, you're going to get 30 equals 4a minus 2b plus c. I'm going to change the sign on the second equation and make negative 6 equals negative a minus b minus c. So I made the decision to eliminate the c's. So I have 24 equals 3a minus 3b. Now I'm going to do the same thing with these two. Think of it as subtracting. I'm just going to write the equation down directly. So I've got 30 equals 15a plus 3b. So I did that one mentally without actually writing out the two equations. Now really conveniently, these two b terms are going to cancel when I add those two together. So 54 equals 18a, and 18 goes into 54 3 times. Okay, so I've got one of my coefficients. Okay, so I'm going to substitute going backwards into the two equations with two variables, and I'm going to substitute into this one right here. Do it over here. So I'm going to have 30 equals, and when I put the a in, I get 45 plus 3b. It gives me negative 15 equals 3b, and negative 5 equals b. So I've got my second coefficient. And I'm going to take those two and substitute them into the easiest of the three, which is this middle equation. And say, and it's a little cluttered here, I'm sorry. 6 equals 3 minus 5 plus c, which gives me 8 equals c. Okay, so my equation in standard form is y equals 3x squared minus 5x plus 8. And that is our answer right there. Now this example 4, I'm going to leave you to do on your own. And you're going to do it the same way. You want to find A, B, and C, just like you did in example 3. Now on the calculator you can do the same thing that we did before with linear regression. If you follow the steps on your calculator, you can do the same thing with this one. So follow the steps on your calculator as I've given to you right here. And before, when we did linear regression, we looked for the slope and the y-intercept. We're going to look for A, B, and C. Follow this exactly and you will be able to solve this, this problem. And what you need to do here is, these are not going to come out to integers, these are going to come out to decimals. Enter X into list 1, enter Y into list 2. A couple of things that you need to make sure to do. You need to clear all graphs you might have in the Y is equal to. Okay. You also need to make sure stats plot is on. That would be very important for you. Also, before you enter your list 1 and 2, clear all lists. And the way you find your list is go into stats, like you were going to enter a list, and edit. And then you're going to arrow up to the top of your list and hit clear and enter, and it will clear all entries in the list. And that should get you started. So we are going to be using this for a project pretty soon. You will want to practice these problems, but this will get you through the first set on your homework.